The class today, as you know, is Introduction to Software Testing, mainly manual testing. So the next, um, last week, I was trying to introduce and give you more understanding in terms of background, the reason why we do some testing. I gave examples of cars, how you go to the showroom to test a car. I gave example, real life example, you looking at mixing water, hot and cold. I gave another example of you trying to use a pen, then you are trying to check if the pen is working. All these are form and activities of testing. And I think I could remember last week also, I said we've got soft copy of this textbook, which someone even asked during the lecture that are we going to get the textbook? I'm so sure you would have seen the textbook on the Telegram, so you can actually be reading ahead and also trying to gain more understanding. There are several examples in the book. And I'm sure even today you have done a form of testing in terms of you walking around, in terms of you eating, in terms of you looking at the weather. We testing the weather now. Is it too hot or cold? This is form of testing. So all these are the things that gives you a better background, a more understanding of what it means and the reason why we are doing testing. Testing is in different forms. Is every area, every aspect of your life, testing is involved in one way or the other. So I gave several topics, and I think we've covered fundamental testing, the fundamentals of testing, which I'm going to recap on. We've done the testing principles, we've done the processes, we've gone to the code of ethics, we've done the testing life cycle. Now, this is where we are starting, and these are the key things. Everything that this topic involves is what exactly everything I've been saying from the beginning is what it takes you as a tester to do in your day-to-day activities. And when you're talking, I think in the internship, that is where I'm going to explain more when it comes to um, the type of language I want you to speak to me when we are talking. I want the main testing, the testing languages in terms of test cases, expected actual report, exit entry criteria, validation verification. I'm still going to talk about those twin, the brothers that we actually talked about last week. So these are the topic generally. And I told you different types of role involved: quality assurance, UAT, testing, manual testing. These are just the names attached to it. It's just one body, one person. It's just like me now, Yemi. I can have 10 names given to me by different person. But am I changing? No, I'm still the Yemi. I'm still the type of function that I still do with my body. But my name can be Yemi, my name can be Emma, my name can be Mark, my name can be anything. I can have 10 names, but I'm still Yemi. So these are the type of skills that are expected as software testers. So the major power there is that we are testing. That is our job, to find bugs, to test any product or system that we are being given. So I explained about the salary expectation. This is just the graph of 2021. Um, in fact, the latest one is overwhelming. Money is out there. And don't forget, this is just the first quarter. I mean, this is the first half of the year. We have started with second half. So there's a lot of things going on. So a lot of more expectation, juicy salaries out there. So I also explained about the testing as a discipline, which I gave you an example of a good software tester. What is the characteristics? What does it entail to be a good software tester? Who are you? What is it? You must have a good verbal written communication. You must have a passion, the zeal. I enjoy when I'm doing this. It's a form of, I'm just like, I can sleep and wake up in it. It's something that I'm happy doing. It shows in my work. It shows in your work. When you are happy, when you are eating good food, you will see the excitement in you. That's the way you should have the passion when it comes to you as a software. You must have the technical skills, the analytical skill. You must have the attitude. You must be productive. So the objective that we did last week, we explained what is testing, how testing is done, why testing is necessary, the general principles of testing, fundamentals of testing, and self-assessment questions. But this time, before it's still just a pictorial, just a beautiful face of it for you to see the same thing is there. Today, there are a lot of gifts. This one a special gift for people that are answering the questions. So I'll be going there and be checking. So lovely gifts out there for you today. What is testing? If you just be typing in your answer, if you know what testing is, this is an activity that is performed to demonstrate that something is working as expected. That's the meaning of testing. Just that something is working as expected. The pen that I want to use, is it working as expected? Is the water the right temperature that I want? Is the car the exact things that I want in the body of the car? Is it it? The dress I ordered for, is it exactly what I want? This just to ensure that something, a system, a product, an application, anything is working as expected. It's testing for me. I know you've realized now that testing is for you to be in this class the second time. I'm telling you, you are in the right place, and I'm sure you know now that testing is for you. So who is actually, testing as a discipline? What does it make you different? Is you as a tester, you must be inquisitive, work smartly, think out of the box, patient and attentive to details. Who can test? I don't need to say that again. I'm sure you all know everyone can test. Anybody can test. So what can be tested? Who can remember? Hardware, software. Hardware, physical devices that you can see, e.g., that you can see, you can touch. For example, a laptop. Software, what you cannot see or touch. An example is your internet browser, the games. These are book references, and a soft copy should have been sent to you. Use your Guru 99, use Google. There are loads of materials, thousands of materials out there for testing. Software testing. So this is it's a discipline. So it's more in-depth into software. I've said it again. What is testing? This is an activity that is expected to demonstrate that something is working as expected. What are the things? We're talking about packages, we're talking about programs, we're talking about system, we're talking about products, web app, etc. These are things that you are just testing it to ensure that it's working as expected. Software testing is not complex, it's not difficult to implement or execute. It is a discipline. So me calling software testing is a name of a role. It's a job. It's a title of a role. It's just like you saying, just like you saying you're a teacher. That is a role. That's the name of that thing. Now, your specification as a teacher, you can specialize in maybe being a mathematics teacher, English teacher, a science teacher, but you are a teacher. You are wearing the body of a teacher. The difference is that I'm working in different, I'm specialized in this particular area, but I am skilled in teaching. I have the necessary thing to be a teacher. That's the reason why I'm a teacher. How can a software be tested? Remember, two ways: manually or automatedly. Manually, using a tool, manually testing without any tool. Automated testing is testing with a tool. Manual, you are not testing with any tool. You are in this class today, we are not going to use any tool. The tool we are going to use when we go in depth into this course is your Excel, your pen and paper. That's that tool. That's what we are going to use. Excel, pen and paper. That is your spreadsheet is what I need for you to do this. You're going to use your Word document. All these are the things you're going to use just manually. You're not going to use an application to run it. You're not going to do anything. It's going to be done manually. And I'm telling you, at the end of this course, which I'm going to give you an update, and they're coming in to give you an update of it. I'd say if you give that little time, just give yourself that time, push yourself. I can tell you that if you listen carefully, follow the rules of this manual testing, I'm telling you, before you finish this course, you'll be able to testify. Then why do we test? We test to avoid failure. A system needs to be tested adequately, and the right sort of testing needs to be done. What are the consequences if you don't test properly? Loss of money, loss of business reputation, loss of time. It could either cause injury or death. So the way you test an application is different from each other. So not to forget these three brothers: error, defect, failure. Who can remind me? Error is what? Human mistake. Defect is what? Inconsistency between expected and actual result. And failure is the thing that causes the defect, that is called the failure. So examples, so that's defect, that's failure. Now, I'll dive in straight into the keeping software under control. So for us to get a good understanding of it, I was just explaining last week that exhaustive testing of complex system is not possible. You can't beat your chest to say, oh, I've tested this. Even if you drive this car, no. If you go more than 70 miles per hour, oh no, oh no, nothing will happen to you. This car, the brake is fantastic. But if you overspeed, there's every possibility you're going to have an accident and die. So those are the expectations. You can't beat your chest to say, oh, I've tested this, nothing can happen. I've tested this system, nothing can happen to it. No, you can't be that confident to say that. But the thing that can make you say you have confidence in what you're testing is to know whether have you prioritized your testing? Have you gone for the risk, the quality, and also, are you sure this is the best system in terms of risk, quality, cosmetics? All these are things that you need to put in place when you are testing. Is it possible to run every possible test, simple or on a simple or complex system? No. That's the reason why we are using the word prioritization in this case. When is testing enough? When will you say testing is enough? When you are using these two words. Testing, as I'm testing, I'm checking the risk. As I'm testing, I'm checking the quality. Then I can decide from that analysis that enough is enough. Then these are the general principles of testing. Don't forget, seven general principles of testing. Testing shows the presence of bug. Exhaustive testing is impossible. Early testing, Defect cluttering. These are just English words that is still the same meaning, but bringing it into testing. The pesticide paradox, reading something continuously, you might end up not seeing any bug or error there again. Testing is context dependent. If you don't put something in, you can't. If you don't add hot or cold water together, if you don't put a context in it, you can't determine whether the water is warm or cold. So you have to bring some things together for you to be able to test. Absence of error fallacy. Definitely, it's a fallacy. Fundamental test process. And these are 5. That's test planning and control, test analysis and design, test implementation and execution, evaluating exit criteria and reporting, then test closure activity. Then there's the psychology of testing, just mainly telling you different phases of testing. Now, and also, I continued to talk about the different software development life cycle, the SDLC. And also, we've got STLC, software testing life cycle. This is the development life cycle, is the general one. Now we've got life cycle of testing. So how we test, the different phases of testing, the levels, all these are embedded in it. And in this place, we talked about different modules. We analyzed the pros and cons. We talked about the concept of understanding. These are um, some of the models that we actually work with. I've worked in a waterfall, V model, agile, this rational, unified, spiral, all these are different ones. Scrum, Kanban, all these are part of agile. So, but the major one we are going to talk about, because all these have been consolidated into these 3 fantastic brothers. And one of them is the waterfall, the V model, then we are calling the iterative, which the iterative incremental development, and that is called the agile. So if you look at the diagram, it exactly shows you that is a waterfall. If you see the arrow, you know that it's coming down. That's like a waterfall. That's what the name is derived from, waterfall model. So in this model, we've got requirements. You have to finish the requirements before you send it. After you finish the requirement, the business analyst gets the requirement, they send it to the solution architect, they design, they send it. After the designer finish their own phase, they will give it to the development team will take it. After they finish building everything they've said, they finish building it, no testing has been done, then they send it to the testing team. Test, oh, it can do anything at this phase, nothing. We have to still continue with deployment, and by the time we get to the user's place, we find out that unfortunately we can't launch the application. So at this phase, we have to go and start again all over. Take the requirement, do the whole thing back and forth till you get to maintenance. Now, the disadvantage of this is at this phase, you have to complete one activity before the other, one process before the other. So you have to wait. So now you've got like a team of 10, or let's say 8 to 10 people in the team that wants to start this project. And first, the BAs, we all be sitting down, be waiting for them. We cross our hands. The design team, you wait. That one will take another 6 weeks or 4 to 6 weeks to bring their own out too. Then by that time, the developers might take another 2 to 3 months. Now we are counting 4 months going. Testing will take another 1 to 6 weeks. 6 weeks. So that's another 6 months going. Deployment will take another 2 weeks to get deployed. Then we have to send it to the. So at that run, 8 months is gone. And at the end of 8 months, you tell me I can't launch that system? No. So that's just the disadvantage of that. But the advantage is that if you know exactly what you want to do for a small project, if you know have all the requirements, if there is a prototype, if there's something that you can mimic, something that is working previously, it's a cheaper model to use because you can do things, requirements are gathered maybe within 1 or 2 weeks, design 1 week, development 1 week, testing 3-4 days, deployment. So you consider we are still within that structure of 1-2 months. So now V model, you can see the shape is V. So that's the reason it's called that name, V model, or you can call it a sequential development model. And each of it, you can see testing attached to each of them. So hence, and likewise, we've got the agile, and that's the incremental. That's the one we're actually working out. That is the one that is selling now. Everyone must know what the word agile is. You must know the agile ceremony. You must have an understanding of this, how this is being embedded and how the team work with agile. It's a simple model. It's just for you to have an understanding of how you're going to place your work, what is expected of you, what your efforts are, what your burn down is. They want everybody in the team. They want to see you visible in your team. Hence, you're there. Naturally, when you're working with teams of developers, our expectation as testers is always either the ratio of 2-1 or 3-1. So I mean 3 developer, 1 tester. Very good. 2 developer, 1 tester. But when you're having 4 to 6 developers and 1 tester, then there is a problem because you'll be overloaded and you might not be able to give your best shot when it comes to testing at different circles. So you need to know what and what. There are ratios to each of these when it comes to you doing. So agile is a key one, and we'll be in the internship, you'll be working with this model. So be ready to understand that the iterative and incremental developmental model is what you'll be working with when it comes to this. Because most people, it's rare. They do partial agile waterfall, but nowadays it's been for like 5-6 years now. Most people fully agile. We just want that name. Yes, do you understand agile? Yes, I've worked in agile environment. Those are things. So this is just an example requirement analysis, sprint 1. That goes iterative, the first iterative, you go again, second iterative, the third one. So we do login. That's the first iterative. We store the code. We do search functionality. That's another iteration. We finish that. We go to until we finish that project. And these are tested in full range. So all this, the first iteration is not new to the user. We've all seen what is going to be in the login. So whatever the user wants to do in terms of adding requirements or that, then he or she can do it. Then this is mainly the way it goes. The definition of ready, backlog, sprints, development, test, integration, delivery, and definition of done. These 2, definition of ready, definition of done, just have them. All these things are key when it comes to agile. Sprint, you'll be hearing sprint, 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 and I told you sprint in the proper agile way in the manifesto, in the preaching of Agile, is meant to be fortnightly, which is 2 weeks. But it depends on the organization, it depends on the team, it depends on your deliverables. So it could be adjusted to be, some will do either 2-3 weeks, some will do 4 weekly. So it depends. But most of the time, take it bit by bit and achieve your 2-week sprint. This is what we can do the demo, and everybody's happy. We move to the next chapter. So the same thing. So that is now where we stopped. So today, I'll be starting with another phase, which is the test level. Test level. So in this test level, please don't forget the rule. Any question you have, just pop it into the chat. I'm still going to go there. So today, we'll be starting the test level. We've been talking about different testing. So now I want you to have an understanding of what each of the test levels, what you as a tester, what other people are doing. What do they call testing in the general software development life cycle? We've got 4. We've got the unit testing. The unit testing is more of a component testing. Now I was talking about Agile. And I was saying the first iteration, we pick a login scenario. And in the login scenario, the developer, the business analyst gives us the requirements. Oh, do you have a good understanding? Devs, tester, solution architect, data analyst, is that plan? Okay, yes, we all have. Are you ready to go? Yes, so this sprint we are planning login. So everybody takes their place there. You as a tester, I start my test prep. Start building up my script. I've got the requirement. I do my static testing. Is this requirement? Do you have an understanding? Yes. Everything I need in the requirement in terms of acceptance criteria, are they there? Yes, they are there. So I start building with what I have in the requirement. The developers they will go start their unit testing, more of a component testing. Let me start. Take it bit by bit. Create their code. This is the code for you logging in, add all the variables, change whatever they want to do, set that environment, their code, and that's for the unit testing. Solution, the design, they would have structured how they want the login, navigation, and that to integrate together. Hence, that is it. But don't forget, the issue that we have in the sprint is more of logging. So we are focused in one place, logging. We are not looking at anything. If we have time, then we can bring in something. But for this sprint, logging is our priority. And at the end of the sprint, is logging we are going to demo. So this unit testing is mainly owned by the developers. But in a way, we also do unit testing when we are automating. You as an automation tester, you might do unit testing because you've got code involved, but not on the core level. That is the unit test. Then integration testing. Some bits are owned by devs, and majorly we as testers, we do integration testing because now we need to, and as I said, both the developers and testers get involved at this stage. Then we have system testing. System testing generally is owned by you. You have been given an application has been built, is being developed. You own the system. You are representing the users. So that system testing goes for you. Acceptance testing, likewise, is for you and also from the user perspective. Are you accepting this? So these are the types of levels that we have. Now, what are the types of testing that we have? So I've given you test levels. Now I'm giving you types of testing. What are the types of testing? Start with functional testing. Functional testing is mainly you looking at the behavior of what you want to what you are doing. It's mainly like checking the features. What exactly do you want to do? So those are functional testing. Now we've got smoke testing. We've got smoke testing is mainly checking that the build, because when developers finish coding, they do all this in developers environment. Now, because developers environment has all the structures needed, is a stable environment for them. Everything, if you as a tester test in developers environment, it will work perfectly. But now, deploy from dev's environment to test environment. That's the issue now. Now you have moved from a phase to another. When you put it in the test environment, the test environment is more like small of developer, but would have all the infrastructures, all the techie things needed. Not everything is going to be there. Yours in that test environment is to have more of a structure where you can test conveniently, you can accommodate whatever has been deployed from the dev environment. That environment can give us the best of what the developers have done. So that's where you test as a tester. You can have several test environments. It depends on how big the organization is. So you might have test environment 1, you can have tests 2, 3, 4, 5, till n number. Because maybe when I'm using this test environment, another work stream, that's another group of people working in a project, can also need a test environment. So we don't want to be stepping on each other and be waiting for me, delaying the timelines and also the deadlines. So that's why smoke testing is needed. The next one I'm talking about is retesting. Retesting. The English word is retesting. I'm trying to retest. So for instance, I've tested the login scenario. Let me use the username and the password, the simple one that we all understand. Now I've tested the username and the password. And while testing it, I found a bug that, when you don't put anything in the password and you put the correct username, maybe my username is meant to be Yemi1, and I put the username Yemi1, and it asked me for password. I didn't put anything in password. Maybe I made it blank, and I clicked on the submit button, and straight on the application is launched. Maybe in the requirement, it is not part of it. You must put something in the password. So I found the bug. So that bug has to do with the password. Now, I've sent the bug to the right channel, which is to the developer, whoever has done, I've coded or done that the bit of that work. So I send the bug and everything to he or she. They fix it and send it back to me. Yemi is ready for a retest. The first thing is that I'll retest it. I'll first go the same step that I've gone to do. I put Yemi1. When I put nothing there now and I click submit, poof, is an error. Enter password, something like that. Then that is working as expected. I'm retesting that. Now the next person is regression testing. Now, I can remember last week, I want to see my class. So now it's self-assessment question. I'm going to go now. So please, tell me, I'm going to the chat. If you can remember the twin words that we were using together, the person asking for the book, please just go to the go to Telegram. Just send your message there. Then you get a soft copy of that. So now I want us to recap again from last week. I was telling you these two words, twin brother. The first one was if I can remember very well, when I was telling you these guys that you must always know them when we are talking about testing, expected and actual results. You know, I was saying it. Can someone tell me another twin that we talked about last week? Me, I've used expected and actual. If you can remember, the first person to give me another one, telling you ice cream, I'm going to get that ice cream. Someone is typing. So now, yes, expected. I've said it. I told you expected, Jimmy. Fantastic. Tosi Adeleye. Yeah, fantastic. Verification and validation. Entry and exit, Vanessa. Correct. These are so please, I'm writing your names down. Ice cream. The ice cream van will come just at your door, telling you that ice cream is on the way. Just look at the picture. It's just the picture. You don't need to get it. Just see the picture of the ice cream. It's coming. Verification, valid entry and exit criteria. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Then these two words, I'm going to add another two words again. So I'm going back to the slide. These two words will be retesting and regression. Retesting, regression. So take those two brothers again, retesting, regression. So retesting, you know, I've explained retesting. Now, regression is testing after that code has been changed. Okay, I'll give you a scenario. I explained to you retesting using login scenario. So now you have logged in into a particular application. We are trying to do the login scenario. So the developer has fixed that place. I told you that there is a blank, the password error. Most of the time, when you touch something, there is always a fault in the general overview. That's the expectation. Let's just take an example. If your car, if you have a car and maybe there's something wrong or they've changed the plug, you just bought the car, you started changing this, changing that. Of course, if you want to, when you change the plug of the car, you do everything, you have to test the general car. You have to check the normal servicing. That's the reason we do a general servicing of each of this car. That general service of that car is more of a regression testing. So now let me bring it to the testing context, the testing world. I have actually done, I've retested. Oh, now I've put Yemi1 in the username. The blank, the password, I did when I put it blank, I told you there was a pop-up, enter password. Now I'm going to go back. I will enter the right password. The right password is password 1. So I've put my password 1 as a password and I clicked enter. Click submit. Wow, that page launched. So your expectation as a tester, you don't stop there because you've only retested that bug. Yeah, that bug works fine. You can tick that bug and put all your screenshots. Bug is working as expected. Below is a screenshot. I'm able to launch the environment, blah, blah, blah. Then when you put your everything you need to close that blog, then you close the defect. Once that defect is closed, you have to do a general regression testing. So regression testing has to be done. When you do a retest first, you must do a regression testing to counter that retesting. So the first thing you do is to do a retesting. Ensure that the bug you raised is properly tested and you have confirmed that is working as expected. Now, regression. Regression testing, you start testing from the beginning. When I use the URL, this is my domain, www.yemi.co.uk, and I put the password, Yemi, put the username, Yemi1. I put the password1. I click enter, I go into I've launched the page. I'll do some search. I'll play with the application a bit, do more of an exploratory testing. That is you doing the regression testing, checking that what the developer has fixed has not affected anything in the previous application. Retesting regression. Interview question. What is the difference between retesting and regression? That's why I'm using this time to explain very well. It's always, most people mix it up. And if you go for an interview, if you can answer these little questions, look, everything I've been saying, verification, validation, retesting, regression, exit entry, expected actual result, all these things are the things that these are, sorry to use those words, but these are the testing jargons that we want you to be saying. When you are speaking like that, then I know you are part of us. You are in our family. You are in our world. It's very easy. I'm telling you, it's just for you to get an understanding of it. The way I can explain to you is this. Now you take that word into yourself. How do I understand retesting? Look at it and get an understanding. Look at it again, get an understanding of regression. So that's another 2 words. Always remember, all these words, we are still coming to use it this is what we use in our daily, in our everyday field. I'm talking about functional testing. I'm talking about smoke testing, retesting, regression testing. All these are the words we speak all the time. Then the next phase I'm talking about is testing. So testing verifies and validates that a software or application is bug-free. That's the essence of redoing it. Testing identifies defects or defects are bugs. Testing helps to identify failure of software. This is what you have done before. What is debugging? Debugging. I am trying to fix something. Debugging. Debugging is a process of fixing a bug or defect in the software. That's the meaning of debugging. So you might be hearing, oh, okay, Yemi has found this bug. I'm going to debug to know. You as a tester too, you can debug to know the root of what is wrong. Because before I escalate a bug, and that is the trust people need in you. Before I escalate a bug, I will give you the scenario. I would have helped the developer to do some of his work. The only thing he needs to do is just to go to that place and change it in his local and let everything sync and do the proper deployment. So you also can debug. Debugging removes error. Debugging and identifies and analyzes and removes bug. So these are these. So furthermore, types of testing. We are still on the issue of types of testing. We've got the non-functional testing. So non-functional, functional, if you see all the things I've said, is things that you can see. Non-functional, we are talking about performance. In performance testing, now you are testing an application. Let me give example, Facebook, Google, social media generally. You want to check the performance. Doing the performance testing, you need to check the load, the stress, and the volume. I said something last week. You need to check the concurrent user. First, you check as a single user, if one person is using, what is the behavior of the system? If he logs in, Don't forget, 10 people can log in at the same time, the same second, the same minute, same microseconds. It can be the same. Then again, you'll check 50 users, 100, 1,000, 1 million, 10 billion, 20 billion, 1 trillion. So this is the way you check the stress and the volume. There are tools to do it. And also, this is just mimicking data to do it. So that's performance testing. We've got security testing. We've got usability testing. We've got compliance testing. We've got sanity testing. And we've got structural testing. All these are the types of testing that we have. So before I go further, let's do another test. So in the test that we want to do, please can someone give me another, what are the types of testing that we have? Anyone you remember, be typing it. I'll be looking at it, and ice cream van man, please come out. So anybody, what are the types of testing that we have? I've just taught that now. I don't want types of testing. Start giving me types of testing. What are the types of testing? Anyone you remember, be typing. I'm waiting. Types of testing. Correct. Functional, smoke, dummy. Good. Tammy, Chelsea, Elvis, fantastic. Functional. Yes. Bisola, thank you. Busola. Yes, I can see. Jimmy, smoke testing, fantastic. Functional testing. Yeah, unit testing. That's test levels. Yeah, regression testing, fantastic. Yes, Dami, well done. Well done. Yes, performance testing. So yes, good. Busula, compliance, security, good. I've got people. So now these are the types of testing. So you can go for an interview. These are different types of testing. So just read more about them than you have them. Now, I'm still continuing with types of testing. So in this phase now, I can tell you predominantly that we are diving into the next level of it. So in this form of testing, we've got static testing. Static. I'm staying somewhere. I'm just going through it gently. Static testing, done when code is not executed, e.g. in the requirement review. So now you have been given a requirement. All of you have been served the requirement to actually view. Do you have an understanding? Oh, most of the time they come to you, oh, yeah, like it depends on the organization you're working. You'll be given some mapping documents. You'll be given some requirement document. Some call it requirement document, call it specification, some call it BRD. BRD meaning business requirement document. So there are different names for it. So if you have been given all these documents to say, can you please review it? The way I review is that, and that's my expectation for whosoever is giving me the documents to review. I must have a clear understanding. I must know where that journey is going to. And that journey should make sense to me. That's the way you do your static testing. Static testing also, you look at each of these, you ensure that maybe words, they are used properly, just reading and looking at some of the mistakes. Do you have a clear understanding? Just mainly reading, like you're reading a normal document, that's what you're doing as static testing. Nothing is involved. It's just reading, having a glance, looking at it. That is what is done for static testing. No code is involved. And static testing is done in verification stage. Code is being examined without being executed. So the code, nothing is running. You are just checking. In that document, in the code, they'll tell you, oh, this is what we are doing. When you enter, this is the login, this is your username, that's the password, this is the submit button. Simple. That's just it. They're not going to execute it. That is for static testing. Now, dynamic, something is moving, something is going, something is happening, something is moving. Static, something is stagnant. I'm just reviewing. Dynamic is done in validation stage. Code is being executed and tested. So this, just have it again, static, dynamic testing. So static is no code is being, you are just examining, you are reviewing documents, you are reviewing requirements. All these are the things that is done in static stage. Dynamic is done in validation stage, and code is being executed and tested without necessarily being examined. Review and the test process. So, since now I've been talking about requirement documents, I've been talking about design document, mapping document. All these are just documents to put you through for you to have a clear understanding of what the project is going to be, what the mind of the product owner is, what the mind of the user is, what is the mind of the people, the stakeholders, the owner of this system. What is their mind? That's the essence of this review. And review are done in different stages. A review is a systematic examination of a document by one or more people with the aim of finding and removing errors. Every document that is starts with a draft, which is prone to everybody's comments. From there, we start building on it, what needs to be added, what needs to be removed. That is it. When you, as a tester, you are developing your test plan, your strategy, your test cases, all these are the first phase is going to be in the draft stage. When it is signed off by everybody and everyone has a clear view is when it gets to the issued stage. But for now, it's mainly your first document. Nobody brings a final document out when you are the only one that have done it. So who is going to review it? So it has to be reviewed by a lot of people. You've got members of the team. You want everything to be transparent. You want them to know what you're going to do, how your testing is going to be conducted, and what you're going to perform at different levels. This gives people trust to know that, yes, this person knows what he or she is doing. At cycle 1, this is what I want to this is what I want to do. I'm going to do a system testing, more of a smoke testing, just to ensure that what we have done at this particular stage is working. That's my cycle 1. My cycle 2, maybe I want to do a seat testing. That is system integration testing. At this phase, the integration from the system to the seat, I want to see it. At that third place, maybe I want to do more of a UAT to make sure that I've got the mimic side of it. Now I've got an end-to-end phase of it. Now I've hit that from my source system, I've gotten to the target. So once I start from the source, I want to get to the target. And there are different types of testing from each level. So these are the way documents, processes are being reviewed. It can be reviewed by your colleague. It can be reviewed by the larger team. It can be reviewed by your test manager. Everyone, all the stakeholders involved needs to have a larger view of, and there are different types of review. We've got the informal review. We've got the walkthrough. We've got the technical review, we've got the inspection. So the informal is just the normal way, the normal review, you looking through, these are the things that I expected, you doing more of a static testing, talking. Now we go to the walkthrough. The walkthrough is the bit that I like most of the time. When you get to, so now, when we finish now, and you get to a stage that after some, I'm so certain by middle of August, some of you would have been, you'll be fully hands-on and we can be talking by then. So the first thing you get to when you get to a job, you need a walkthrough session. And the walkthrough, you can see, is WALK, walkthrough. The walkthrough means explain to me how your system is being used. When you go to any organization, you are not a magician. Someone needs to explain to you how the application works. They need to give you a KT session. When I mean a KT, I mean a knowledge transfer session, where you have a big understanding of it. Now, never go into a KT session or a walkthrough session without a pen, a paper, scribble the scribable. Sorry for using that English, but try and be a scribe. A scribe is more of a typewriter, a secretary. Listen very well, pay attention to details, take every word, just write it down. When you write it down, you can go back so that when next you are going to talk to the person, you have grabbed one or two things from there. KT session on walkthrough session is not once. You can do it severally. You ask questions. When they are giving you a walkthrough session, you don't need to model everything up. They don't expect you to know everything in 1 day, in 1 month, in 3 months. You grow to know it. It's just like you as a child. The more you are growing, you are developing. The more you are growing, we as adults, even as at now, we are still, is continuous learning. So you are not expected to know everything. So don't be worried that, am I going to get this? No. Once you have a walkthrough session, the only thing is that ask the right questions. In the internship, even now that I'm talking to you, you can ask me any question. I will never put you down. As you're talking, any question you have, ask me. There will be a time when I know that you are fit, then I will tell you that now you can't ask me that question again. It's not asked in the field. This is how to ask the question, then you grow in it. That's the way it works. And we tailor you, we mentor you towards achieving that goal. Now, the next one is the technical review, done by everyone. You also can be a partaker of the technical review, more of a static testing when it comes to the unit testing. These are the things that we talk about technical review, looking at the design document, the development, and inspection is done generally. We've got people that are involved in the inspection. Now, we've gotten, so at that phase, if I tell you that in our textbooks, in that soft copy that you have, there are 6 chapters there. We have gone more than half of that textbook. And this particular place you see is understanding test case design. But before I go further, because I've just got 20 minutes to just introduce you into this, then we'll take another step back. At this phase, what makes you a manual tester is this: understanding test case design. If you can write a good test case, if you can understand what you have written, if people can understand and pick your script and execute, then you are a master in manual testing, in testing generally. What makes you a tester is this. I'm going to simplify it very well for you to just have a good understanding. So I want to introduce test case design. as a manual tester, as a software tester, as an agile tester, as a UAT tester, user acceptance testing, you as an automation tester, you must have a good understanding of test case design for both manual and automation. If you don't understand it manually, believe you me, you can't automate it. If you don't understand it manually, I will tell you the truth, you can't automate it. When you don't have a clear understanding of what is going to happen, how do you want to put it? How do you want to design it? So this is, you have to, designing a script is just having a good understanding of the requirements and knowing how to place each of your test cases, your test condition, and the script generally, how it looks, how it's going to be. And that's where we are today. So the first person I want you to know here is this person, this guy in front, the test condition. Test condition. So let me take it literally that we here, we go to the GP, or more of you going to GP, going to A&E, accident and emergency. You have gone to meet the reception, and you get to the reception. I think the first question will be, what have you come here to do today? That's the first question. From the, I want to see the doctor. Okay, tell me your name, pull up your details, and they bring it up. Oh yeah, you are in our surgery, of course, registered here. Now, they need, before you just say you can't just say you want to see the doctor. Something brought you to the doctor. What brought you to the doctor is what we want to talk about. So now, the condition that brought you, then the reception will ask you, why do you want to see the doctor? That is when you start with the condition. Okay, the first person, the person that, I want to see the doctor today. Then fine. What's your name, your details? Oh, this is me. Then, fine, fantastic. What do you want to see the doctor for today? I have stomach ache. Fantastic. You've got stomach ache. She writes it into the system. He or she, who is at the reception, will write, she's got stomach ache. That's the condition she's come to see the doctor for. That's good. Now, hold that down and know that the reason why this patient has come to see the doctor today is because of the stomach ache. Now, I'll take the next one. Before I go further, I'll read that to say, test condition, an item or event of a component or system that could be verified by one or more test cases. That's why I said I'm holding that down as stomach pain. So I'm giving it as my test condition. Now, the next thing I need to do, I want to build my test cases. So now the doctor wants to call the patient inside. Before the doctor calls the patient inside, he will quickly look at it. Oh, patient A is coming because of stomach ache. Then what the doctor will look at, let me quickly do some test cases, the questions I'm going to ask him to be able to know the level of the stomach pain. So the first thing he will do is that lie down on the bed. He presses the stomach. That's one test case. The second test case, exactly what part, if I touch here, what happens? That's the second case. The third case is that can you come down? If you bend, what happens? That's the third case. Then the fourth case, can you stretch? What happens? That's the first case. So let's take the four test cases. One, if the doctor touches this part, what happens? If the doctor tells you to come down and bend, what happens? Stretch to the back, what happens? So I've built some test cases. These are the conditions I'm going to ask. Now, the doctor goes out and calls the patient. Patient A, can you come in, please? Good afternoon. Patient A, you've got test condition of stomach ache. My first test case to you, patient A, please, can you lie down on the bed? Yes. When I touch your stomach, what happens? When I tell you to bend, what happens? When I tell you to stretch, what happens? These are the test cases. So these are the things that the doctor is going to know what level that stomach ache is what level of pain does patient A have regarding the stomach pain. So let me furthermore to now say, patient A, when you bend, when I touch it, you say, yeah, doctor, that is paining me. All right. The doctor will write the actual, because that is the doctor's expectation. These are the different scenarios the doctor feels that he's going to know the level of the stomach pain. So that is his own expectation. That is his own thinking from all the things he has gathered that the reception has written concerning the stomach pain. Then the actual for the doctor, he will ask, ma'am, can you, when I press it, what's happening? Oh, doctor, I'm feeling the pain. That is a sharp pain. Okay, that's the actual, she's feeling the pain. That's it. Then the second one, when you bend down, can you, oh, doctor, I can't bend down. Oh, she cannot bend down. That is another pain. Oh, can you stretch? Doctor, no, I've got a pain there. I can't stretch. So the doctor knows what exactly that condition is. He knows, he has tested the test cases with the condition. Now, the overall script is what the doctor has built. So he cannot add his pass or fail in the actual and the. So now let me bring it to the testing word for us to understand. I've given you in that layman. So now, test condition is an example. I'll use an example of a login scenario. That is the condition we want to work in. We want to work with, which is login. That's an example. Now, what are the test conditions I want to build with it? The first thing I want to do is that I want to check whether I want to enter, can I enter a username? The second thing, can I enter a password? What happens? The third thing, I want to click submit. Then the fourth thing, the page should display. Then it should launch the application. The first one, that's the first condition that I've done. And that login that I've done, I'm using it as a valid username. I can take a next condition, use a valid password. I can take another condition, use invalid username, invalid password. There are different combinations, permutations to each of these scenarios. Now, while that test case is open that way, the only thing that will make it complete is the whole thing as a script. So I've explained test condition, which is login. I've explained test cases, which are more of the steps, more steps, more scenarios to just validate it. Then when you start executing the actual result and you're putting the real thing when you have that application, that is what comprises of the big script. Now, the understanding I want you to know is you don't need to have a system before you write your script. Let me iterate again. You don't need to see the system for them to build it before you start writing your script. I've always been talking about test prep. Test prep, that is test preparation. So what I do in test preparation is I ensure that I've laid a testing bed. A bed is where you can lie. So I will do my own scripting down, ready. Your script is prone to updates, is prone to you updating it when you are coming, when you start execution. Because you might think, from me, I tell you, there is nothing new under the sun. If you want a login scenario, if I Google a login scenario for you, I'll bring a million login scenario, different variables in and out for you. If you want a search functionality, if you want to navigate within each of these, each of the pages, I can bring different scenarios. There is nothing. Tell me, what kind of car do they want to bring now? Is it a flying car? Is it a low car? Talk about any car. It is in this world already. What type of phone do they want to bring? A waterproof phone? A phone that when you throw it in the pool, it stays? It's here in the world. What type of machine do they want to bring? You have everything. You have a sample, even if not better ones. So where am I going to is that whatever you want to do, there is already something down which you can find different things to work with. So that takes me to the next page, which is going to be very soon the end of my class for today, which I am now going to ask my questions before we go back. So now, this is just a small view of how to design a script. I told you initially that when the next class I'm going to have with you in the internship, when you're coming to the internship, the next class I'm going to have, I just need 3 things from you. In fact, let me just say 4 things from you. 1, please ensure you have a pen. Ensure you have your notepad, your notebook. And the 3rd thing, ensure you have a good Excel spreadsheet. And the last one, a lovely Word document. These are the things we are going to use to start. Once you can type, you can write on your Excel sheet, all our scripts will be formatted there. You can now import it to any tool that you want to use. But I tell you, what I tell people, and I've been in testing for, it's more than a decade now. It's been a fantastic journey. I can't tell you one more time that it's something lovely that I will continue to do and do and do again. But I go back, I can bring what from the very first day I wrote the script. I have it, is in my email. Up to this present moment, I still have it. Every role that I've worked in, I can tell you the history of each of the things I've done there. I can bring out the script from everything I have worked with there. So, hence, if you design this script yourself, which in the internship, as long as you are in the internship, I'm going to explain more. You are going to design your own script, and you are going to walk us through that script. If your test case, you will explain to me, and you will explain to every one of us, and we will correct ourselves. When we correct ourselves, we will understand it more. Me, I'm also learning. So you two will bring ideas and I'll bring ideas. I want to talk and I will tell you my thought. I'm not the only one. We've got a lot of us, mentors that are coming in to do all this. We want to get everyone on board. We are looking for people, families to join us in this field. There are a lot of spaces for us all. So the next thing I have here is just a major script to show you what these test cases are. I've just done an high-level script. For us, we are going to do low level and we are going to do high level. Most of the time, I always tell people, this is your high level script. You can go for an interview and they will tell you to quickly redesign a script. Don't waste time. The only thing the person wants to see are these headers, all these headers. I'm not going to waste it. If you design a script, I've gone to, I don't want to mention, but I've done several interviews that was given pen and paper on the spot, design a script now. And they just told me, design a script for this. This setting that you can see here is what I used to design it. Immediately, I did this, and I added some more fields. And that's just me. I always make sure I put a detailed field in this first line. Immediately they saw those detailed field, they didn't even let me progress much here. And they just, when can you start? That's it. This is what they need. And by the time I was doing it, I didn't have a system. That's why I say you don't need an application. And that is it. I can tell you, just at your leisure, just go to JobServe for those of us in the UK and just type manual testing roles. Maybe check JobServe, there are different job boards and see what's going to come off. And even if not manual, just search for a software testing role and see what exactly that I've been saying that is not in there from all this. They'll tell you to be able to design this, write a test plan, test strategy, do the documentation, be able to script. These are the expectation is general testing. So tell me, I've not introduced any tool to you. From the day I've just been telling you these are the basic, these are the foundation, these are it. So now we are taking login scenario as one. I'm looking at my, and so here is the login. Oh, no. So the first thing here is I put a test case ID. Now I can do it. I can put TFS ID. I can put Jira ID. I can put anything ID there. I just put the test case ID. I don't expect you to do it. I can put ID only. I can put reference ID. So it depends on you. Design it the way you want to. The test condition, there are stages, but I'm going to explain this one later. But I'm trying to break it down the way we have it in the textbook so that you can have a good understanding of it. So test condition. In this scenario, we are testing the signing. And the major person, the domain I'm using is gift treat here. I'm using gift treat. It's a lifestyle. But I can't demo anything here now. So, but I'll demo later. So we'll be writing our script. I'll give you an example, I'll demo, and I'll tell you this is how you're going to go through. So because this is different projects. So at this phase in the gift treat, we call it signing. On that page is signing. So I'm signing with the valid details. So this is my test script, my test steps slide the description. So I go to gift treat. That's the normal domain, gifttreat.com. My expected results is gift treat landing page is displayed. I get started and sign into this display page. I enter my username as username at gifttreat.com. Username entered. I'll enter my password as password 111. password entered. Then I click the sign in button. What happens? Voila, gift return page is displayed. Simple scenario. Lovely login. Easy to do. Happy part. That is my own expectation. That is my expected. Now, you go to this last person, which is the old script. Now, the developers have finished developing this application and they give it to me. I've done my expected. Now I've seen the system. I am testing now. So in my expectation, I said, we should go to login. My expected is that gift tree landing page is displayed. As I'm looking at it now, is gift tree landing page displayed? Yes, it's displayed, it's working as expected. Is sign-in page displayed? Yes, it's displayed, it's working as expected. Oh, is username entered? Yes, it's entered. I've entered the password, yes. Home page is displayed, yes. So these are my status, everything passed. So at this stage, this whole thing here, the completion of this is what makes it a full script. Now that takes me back to this part of our testing, and I'm just going to, because I know most of you would have, I'm just going to, so that, yeah, fundamental test process. This is where I've said test planning and control, test analysis and design, test implementation and execution. This is the third phase that I have shown you. This planning, the analysis and design are the ones that I have shown you, test case and the design. The test planning and control is what we are going to do the next time, how to write your script. I mean, how to answer your test plan, your test strategy. This last part will be the reporting. And now the last one will be test closure activity. You as a tester, when you follow this test, I can tell you, I will tell you who a professional tester is, who is actually an ICEP certified tester from this. And now that takes me directly to the last bit and last part of this class. This is a test script. So this is just an example of the page. This is how we create the page. You create, you click the page. I'm just giving you a stopped identity. So I stop there for now, and I'll go to the question tab. So if you have any question, please just pop it in and let me see. Fantastic. Okay. So now, I believe we have a clear understanding of what a test condition is, what test cases are, and what a test script is. So at this phase, I am going to stop the class here. In my next class, as I've said, it's going to be mainly all about how to build this script, how to be able to write your script. And we are going to start now. And once you can write that script, I view it, I look at it, I will tell you the next phase of how we are going to work. Within that next month, people must testify. And I know it's our time. I open the floor for anyone that wants to ask questions at this time. But before we do that, I'm going to ask my own question. So the first question I'm going to ask, what's the difference between regression testing and retesting? Answers, oh, you know, people are very fast. I'll just sing typing. Retesting. So what's retesting? What's retesting? Retesting, we are taking it one after the other. Retesting, first to get the ice cream van. Ice cream van, just send the answer with your, I know your postcode. You don't need to tell me. I know your postcode. I'll send it to you immediately. Retesting, please. Retesting, what is retesting? I'm waiting for the first person. Retesting, what's the meaning of retest? Testing to detect bugs. Fantastic, Bisola. You are actually testing the particular bug that was fixed by the developer. Oh, Prince, doing your tests after developers, fantastic. That's just exactly. Now, what is regression testing? I can see people coming up now. Yes. Oh, that's good. To Tony. Retesting is bug. If a bug is found, someone go back. Yeah, well done. Regression is after a test has been completed, after a code has been changed. Correct, Busola. Well done. You have, that's another, you've got like 6 to 7 ice creams. Only you. Oh, Vanessa. Regression test is to ensure that changes have not affected on change. Oh, correct. Retesting is done to make sure that test cases which failed in the last execution, absolutely, you killed it. That's fine. That's a good one. Yes, so I'm happy that you all understand it. So now, the next one is, how many types of review did I talk about now? Review. Yes, that's mobology. Yeah, thank you. It means to rest when the code is fixed. Yes, to retest. Yeah, that's it. So what types of review did I mention? Just 4 of them. If you can remember 4 of them. Oh, good. 4 types. Fantastic, Busala. 4 types. Good. Then the first person, Adebola, sent, yeah, good. Tech review, inspection to see. Yes, I can see. Oh, good. I can see everybody's hand. Yes. So these are good. Informal review, walkthrough. Fantastic. Jimmy, I can see you all. Fantastic. Yeah, yes. Taiwo, I can see technical review. Correct. Thank you. Yeah, I can see. So now, then the other one I'm going to ask again is test condition. Just short, just in a simple way you understand it. Test condition. What do you think test condition from this? Test condition. Anyone can try. Next person can be trying test cases. And the next one is test script. As fantastic event of components. Yes, in as much as events of component, I agree with you, but rather I would take it to say more of you testing an understanding. Let me see what. Before I say the answer, correct. Functions verified by one or more test as instead of that, Rita, correct, but one or more test cases. Correct. Then Vanessa, test condition is a specification that a tester must stick to when testing a software program. Is a system that can be verified by a tester. Absolutely. You all understand it. Test criteria. Absolutely, John. You all, Tosin, Vanessa, Rita, Busola, you all understand it. Tony, event tested by one or more count. Fantastic. Fantastic, Rita. Yes, understood. Yes, I know. You, in fact, you all got it. So now let's move. Test case. So if you understand the condition like that, what are test cases? Forget that. We have done the test condition now. Something as steps to attack that, to validate that condition. Busola, a set of input criteria to give expected results. Correct. Correct, Busola. Input and value. Yes, Adebola, that's good. I can see you all. Yeah, fantastic. You know, it's in you're happy when you know people they understand in just your word, yeah, to address or validate expected event. Correct. A scenario to validate an application. Yes. Taiwo, know what to say. Yes, Taiwo, that's good. So that to validate test steps. So now the next thing, test steps, FA, fantastic test step, precondition expected results, a fantastic Rita. Then the last one is the script. Don't forget, the script is the father, that's the mother, that's the person, the mother that have taken everybody under me, the mother and that consolidated everything. That is the script. So who is just script? What's the script like? So as people are typing in the test script, please, if you have any question at all, I think Pat, I'm sure you're on ground too. Any question regarding software testing? Thank you. Who is coming? Yeah, I can see you. Olorun for me, I can see you. Bola, I can see you. A set of actions for tester to perform, validate a specific aspect of product functionality. You're absolutely Olorun for me. Yes, absolutely. Bola, absolutely. Yes, agreed. Are there, okay. Bola said, are there templates to help us in writing the script, or do we have to design it ourselves? Good question. So now, there are templates in there for you to help you write it. But most of the variables, what you have to do, you have to have a good understanding. There are templates to help you. If I tell you that login has different faces, the way you can. So you can get to the internet now, and you search for login scenario, login testing scenario. Do your search, and you get a particular template, how to write it. You get some steps that will come up. But when you write a step for me, I will tell you if you're a beginner or you're advanced or you're a middle. So that is, so that's why I'm saying, but now we want it to be, you will start as someone within 1-2 class. The first class, I'm expecting everybody at a beginner level, but by the time you're doing the next one, you will fine tune it yourself. I won't even tell you. By the time you're displaying it to us, you would see the difference. So it's different. So that is, there are templates for it, but the words have to change. There are different ways you need to use. You have to choose the words you're going to use. So there are templates, there are things you can play with. That's why I want you to design it so that when you want to use a template, you can have a good understanding of how to use the template. You copying the whole thing from the template, I can tell you, I can put it on Google again and find that thing out. So you've not done your job. So, but there's a way you can just change some things around and get it. So it depends. Oh, thank you. Yeah, yes, I can see people coming in. Sorry, okay. A line by line description of all actions. Yeah, Debola, well done. Interesting and educative. Okay, correct. Thank you so much, Test scripts are a line by line description containing the information about the system that should be performed to validate the application. Vanessa, well done. I can see to validate manual and software testing roles. Dosing, please, did you ask Taiwo, sorry, did you ask Taiwo Lawing, did you ask a question to validate manual and software testing roles? Is that, I didn't get that. Well, yeah. Do we have any good time? No, you don't. Oh, good one. I think Rita, do we have to be very good at typing? Not at all. Let me tell you, I'm not a fast typer too, but I didn't start with that. But now, of course, practice. The more you do it, nobody is looking at the speed of your type for you to type. No, your major thing is just to deliver. I'm so certain that you don't need to, nobody is going to stand behind you to deliver the script. You'll be given time. I can tell you, we'll give you days to do script, to do this, to do that. There are timelines to each of these. So typing is no issue at all. Have it at the back of your mind. You either, if you have IT experience, you don't even have IT experience, you've not even opened a laptop before. I can tell you, this place has really taught me that I have an understanding that it doesn't matter the background you're coming into. When you're determined, you're going to see the results. Rita, typing is not going to be an excuse this time. I tell you, very sure. Hi, Yemi. John asked the question, does a project manager need to have any in-depth knowledge or great knowledge about, or great knowledge or good enough knowledge of testing, either manual or automated? A project manager? Not at all. But a project manager needs to have a good understanding of whatever domain the project you're going to be working on. Let me give you an example. You are a project manager. You are a man of everybody. You are the one to manage all the whole team. A project manager, you need to know what is impeding either the developer, what the business analyst need, what the testers need, what the design and the solution design needs. The trick of a project manager, from all my experience, is that a project manager is that big man that just gets an understanding of Yemi is testing the login functionality. He doesn't want to know what I'm doing in the functionality. I get to the project board and tell you, this is what phase we are doing. The developers have done this, is now in the testing phase, and they are currently testing XYZ. You need to be more organized, have an understanding. You don't need to be techie. Forget being techie. But you have to have a good understanding, know how to do your plans, and know how to carry your team along and be able to put it to the project world. If anyone decides to pay instrumental, okay, when can the deadline be? Patricia, please. If anyone decides to pay on installments, when can the deadline for complete payment be? I think she said it.
Sorry, can I take that quickly? Sorry,
yes,
please. Yeah, because I know a lot of people have been asking about deadline. Like I said, there is no specific deadline, actually. And one thing I can say, I had a meeting with the team yesterday. We've kind of bit close to the number that we're looking for, to be honest. So when the team say we've got enough and we're going to shut it down, but however, we think we can put it, the deadline will be the first week of the internship, which is first week of August. But I can tell you, if we have the number and we cannot take enough, then we will close the application, which actually happened last session, because some people are coming to me and they are saying that I told them that deadline was this particular day, and we closed it like 2 weeks before the deadline because we have capacity that we can take. And I know that a lot of people want to be on the internship. Some people have been waiting for.
Please, there is no specific deadline. The deadline that we're working is numbers that we have. But however, no matter what number we have, by first week of August is going to be closed anyway, but we can close it earlier before then when we know that we already got the number. And that's what I can say. And I can tell you that in terms of QA and Scrum Master, we've kind of close to almost 70% of what we are looking for. The BA maybe more a bit than, yeah. But in terms of Scrum Masters and QAs, and I think with BS as well, we've kind of we got a high number, to be honest, right now.
Okay, I guess that's it for the night. Hear me?
Sorry, the last one is how many days are we having class in a week? Please.
Yeah, I think that Deji has just answered that.
Okay.
We'll get the calendar out
okay.
just before the internship starts.
Okay.
So,
and if I may also add to that, I think Pat already responded. This is work placement. This is work placement. Take it as if you are actually working. Normally, I will ask people to commit 3 hours in a day, every day to read. And that's actually the training that you will do. But more than the training, there are a lot of work that you need to do. So even though we're going to do training on some of the areas, and after you've done the training, you need to go away and go and do what is said in the training with your team. So you need to 3 hours every day to this actually. Of course, everything is remote. You don't need to show off on anywhere, but you need to commit time to it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Deji. To be honest, my view and take on this, and that'll be my last one, I will close the class, is to just let you know, we've been talking, I think Pat mentioned it, Mr. Deji mentioned it, it's just the commitment. If you go through this successfully, when you are out on that field, there will be no work that's going to overwhelm you, because the major stretch you need to have, you have gone through those phases. And hopefully, the way I'm saying this next class, I want us all to soar high, and I'm expecting to see every one of you in the next class, which very soon you'll get it. I think the first week in August, my class starts, and hopefully I'm going to see you all. I wish you all the best once again. Enjoy the weather while it lasts, and good night to you all. Thank you all. Bye for now.